Hey guys, it's Danibelle. Today we're doing something a little bit different on the channel today. I actually decided that I wanted to start a new island and start the game from the very beginning. Looking forward to this. It's been a while since I've started over, and I just kind of wanted to experience the whole thing again and do a new island theme, something different that I've never done. So yeah, I guess the point of this video is to hopefully encourage people that haven't played the game before to have a sneak peek of what it's like for the first week or so on the island and what events occur. So spoiler alert, there are going to be things that are going to be shown on here that if you do want this to be a surprise when you start playing the game, you might want to start with the next video. But yeah, this is just sort of a way to reintroduce the game. It's been a little over a year since this Animal Crossing New Horizons launched. I've had an opportunity to play through it a couple of times now, and I don't know, something about starting over again, it feels so fun. It's just exciting. It brings back all of the things that you really can't relive other than restarting the game or starting a new island. So yeah, so to start off, we've got Timmy and Tommy here. They introduce us and welcome us, and they're going to ask you to choose a name. Some tips and tricks. Something important is when they say that you can't change the name, they mean it. If you misspell it, if you decide you want to change it later, you can't unless you completely delete and start over again with the island. So choose wisely, pick something that has meaning to you. And the same goes with the birth date. It's not something you can change later. You can either use your real birth date or you can pick just an important day in the year for you. But the cool part is that, spoiler alert again, there are going to be birthday celebrations within the actual game. So it depends how important it is to you to actually celebrate your birthday on your day or just whatever day is special to you. So yeah, moving into the next part of this, Timmy and Tommy are going to ask us to take a picture, and this is where you get an opportunity to choose what your character will look like. I'm choosing to be a girl. There's lots of different skin tones available. There's going to be a ton more available to you as you play the game, but they do give you these 8 basics to start with. You also get 8 hairstyles to choose from, and again, these things are changeable when you play through the game. So pick something that resonates with you, but again, after the first few days, you will have an opportunity to change it up if you don't like it. I'm going to go, I think, let's see. I think the top 4 are meant to be more of like a female style haircut, and the bottom are meant to be male. But of course, you know, you can pick whatever resonates with you. I think I'm going to go with this basic longer hair with the bangs. It's pretty cute. And then they do give you some colors to choose from. I'm going to go with the brown. And then next to eyes, there's lots of different eyes you can choose from. That one's cute. It sort of looks like Peppa Pig. But yeah, just kind of go through, pick one that you like, that looks cute to you. I know you can change this later as well, so it's not something you're stuck to. But yeah, these are a few of the options. I always think of the last one there as a Pac-Man eye. I don't know why. And can we just appreciate this? Like, I feel like this is me if I've had too much caffeine in the morning. But they do have some really cute options. Sleepy eyes, that sort of thing. The little eyebrows are cute. I like that one. It's kind of girly. I think I'm going to go with these, though. This is sort of like my signature eye that I've used before in the game. And then, let's see, I think I'm going to change the color. They have it as green, which I love. Even that teal is cool, but I'm going to stick with the brown. You can pick out a little nose. I'm going to go with this one. And then the smile. I love the big smile, but okay, seriously, can we just say the snaggletooth is super adorable? I might have to use that at some point in the future, but I'm going to stick with this one. And then cheeks. Not really sure what the difference is between the middle one and the one on the right. I guess the one on the right is supposed to be more subtle, but I think I'm going to go with this one because I want to have cheekbones that like could slice cheese. So we're going to go with this one. Yay! And they do give you a little outfit to start in. The clothing in this game is off the hook. There's so many cute items you can use, but it does take a little bit before you can get some options. So you're sort of just stuck with the noob outfit, and it varies. Sometimes it's like a little tropical shirt, sometimes it's a t-shirt, but usually they just give you like some long pants and some little slip-on shoes. So let's see. Okay, now this part you're gonna pick where you live. I live in the Northern Hemisphere in North America, so I'm picking that. I've seen some other people play this game where they choose a different time zone or a different hemisphere of the world just to sort of give it a different feeling than what they're actually living in real life. So that would be kind of cool if you, for instance, wanted to play the opposite seasons than the ones you're in. I'm choosing where I live for now just because it's warm. It's just going to be starting to be summer, and I don't really want to start this game in the middle of winter. So I think I'm going to go with Northern Hemisphere. Now this part's important. They're talking about choosing your island layout. I've seen some people put some planning into this. I think it's wise if you aren't sure of what's available. They do give you 4 options to choose from, but in all honesty, it randomly generates when you start the game. I think there's like 90 some different combination options. But basically, some tips. What you can look at that I think is most important personally is the first time I played through this game, I did not know that you cannot move resident services, which is the little leaf with the square around it. So not knowing that, I picked one that was not right by the airport. It was sort of off to the side, and I regretted it after the fact. So my recommendation would be pick the island that has the resident services where you want it. The stone gray square area on the bottom is going to be your airport. So I personally prefer a resident services that is directly across from the airport or at least close to it, just because entryways seem to be a big deal in this game for a lot of people, and you want to have some space to be able to build that up how you want. But yeah, so give it a try. You can even do some research. I found a few places that actually showed snapshots of all the different island layouts that exist so that you can sort of get an idea, pick your favorites, and hope that you maybe get one of those options when you start. If you don't see one that you like, the only way to change it is to restart the game and go through everything from the beginning again. So I'm going to pick, I think I'm going to go with the one on the bottom with the rivers that empty on the south. But again, there's lots of different options, and there's certainly different benefits depending on which ones you choose. If you choose the river mouths that empty to the east or to the west, it sort of cuts the island into different sections. So just consider that, I guess, when you're picking out your island and what you think might work best for you. Okay, this question is just hypothetical. I've noticed it doesn't really matter which item you answer. It doesn't affect the game as far as what items they give you to start with. So just pick whatever you want. And at this point, we're going to be getting on a plane and flying to our new island. And they're going to show us a cute little trailer as we're flying, but just to kind of give a little bit more info as we're waiting. Back to the islands. So just pick what you think is going to look right for you. Kind of look at how the island's divided up. There will be a way to change some of the rivers in the game later with terraforming, but the river mouths are going to stay where they are. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing. I always love this part. It's been a while, so I'm really excited to see this adorable trailer that Nintendo created. It's just a cool way to be able to get a glimpse into what the game has to offer. But yeah, so one of the things that I think is very important to people when playing this game for the first time is when you're flying over to your island, you do not know what color airport you're going to get. There's a few options. There's blue, orange, yellow, and green. And depending on what color you get will affect what sort of Nook items you're given later that you can place on your island. So a lot of people like to have a certain color, and I'll put a link in the description to show there's a website that kind of highlights the potential different options of items that you get depending on what airport you get. The other thing that people look for is the type of fruit that they will give you at the beginning. There's different fruits in the game: apples, cherries, oranges, peaches, and pears. And whichever one they give you in the beginning is what your main fruit will be. So yeah, if you happen to not get the combination you want, you can restart the game. And that can be a process. You take a risk because you might not get the right combination. So I've heard of people that get it right the first time and get lucky, and there's other people that I think have probably restarted over 50 times. So it can be time consuming. So fingers crossed, we'll see what we end up with here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is exciting. I see cherries down there, so that's pretty awesome. I've had cherries before, but I love them. They look adorable on the trees. The first island I had apples, so this will be something a little bit different. And okay, we've got an orange airport. That's exciting. I'm happy with that. So here we have Timmy and Tommy to greet us, and they're basically just letting us know that they are here to help, and they want us to do an orientation in the plaza. So we're probably going to have to head over there to talk to Tom Nook, who is the leader of this whole crew. Now, the two people you see here standing with me, they do give you 2 villagers to start out with. The game will allow you to have 10 on your island at a time. The first 2 they randomly pick for you. So again, this is another thing to consider when you're starting this game out in the beginning. These are villagers that you can actually end up letting leave or kicking out later on. So if you don't get the 2 that you like, no need to fear. You'll have a chance to get different ones later, but that is something that some people will choose to restart the game over at this point because it is so early on. So here we've got Tom Nook. This is the guy that's in charge. You'll be talking to him a lot actually in the beginning of this game. He's basically the one that's going to be giving us directions on what to do and sort of guide you through the storyline of the game. So it looks like we've got Goose and we have Renee. So that's pretty exciting actually. Renee I've never had. She is one of the new characters. There's I think 400 some characters available for villagers in this game. So there's a ton. The game will automatically start you out with a jock personality type and a sisterly personality type, and they will randomly choose for you. Renee is one of the new 8 villagers that they introduced to this game, and it's a big deal, I guess, to get one of them because the new villagers do not have amiibo cards, and we'll get into what all that is later as we play this game together. But it's something that if you do get one of the new villagers either early on in the game or at the beginning, it's pretty exciting because you can't get them later. So it looks like he's giving us a tent that we're going to have to place down. Our tent is going to be the first place we're going to be living in this game. And we won't be stuck with it for very long. But he is telling us that we need to find a place to put our tent. So where do we want to live? Tommy is going to give us our actual tent package. And then we're going to have to walk around and just kind of see the layout of this little area of the land here and see what makes sense. It'll give us a chance to sort of see what it looks like before we actually place it. So I'm going to test it a little bit first, but I think the main thing to consider is to think about in the beginning of the game, you are going to be doing a lot of running back and forth between your house or your tent and resident services. So the first time I played this game, I didn't know that, and so I ended up putting my tent pretty far away. I picked a spot that I thought was really pretty and relaxing, but I didn't consider, or know rather, that there was going to be a lot of back and forth at that point. So one of the tips I would recommend is in the beginning of the game, if you don't want to have to be running super far back and forth, I would pick a spot that's fairly close to your resident services. You will get a chance to move your tent or your house later. It will cost you a little bit of money, but it's totally worth it in my opinion to start pretty close, just so that it's easier to do your tasks, because the first week to 10 days of playing this game, there's a lot of gathering, there's a lot of shuffling back and forth, retrieving sticks and stones and wood and stuff like that to be building things, gathering a lot of material that you'll have to be turning into Tom Nook and the Nook twins. So I would recommend finding a place that's pretty close to resident services. I think, let's see, we'll probably go somewhere over here. Maybe back here. This is enough out of the way that I feel like I'll have enough space. But again, I don't want to be too far away. So I'm just sort of running around trying to figure out where I want to put this. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this. There's another thing that I think is actually really helpful. If you are looking to do a lot of decorating on your island, if you are going to be doing a lot of natural type of stuff, it is helpful to put everything towards the front of the island as you go, just because it's going to cost you a lot less money in the long run to have to pay to either demolish bridges and inclines and move them, or the buildings are quite expensive to move. So, hey, any way you can save money is best. But again, I think I'm going to put my tent right about here. This will probably be pretty good. When you're placing it, they will sort of show you here as you imagine where it's going to be. It will show you any of the trees or landscaping that would actually be removed automatically by the game if you place it there. So I kind of wanted to keep these 2 trees in the front, so we're going to pick here. This is our new homestead, guys. I'm pretty excited. So let's see here. This is our cute little rustic mailbox. Looks like we haven't started that part of the game yet, so there's nothing in there, but we'll get a chance to talk about that later. And it looks like the game is telling me I need to go talk to Tom Nook again before I can go in. So let's go talk to him and see what's next. All right, so he's asking us to help our friends here, our 2 villagers. This is kind of nice because if you choose to not help them, they will just put their tents wherever they're standing. And if you're fine with that, you know, you don't have to do this part of the game. It'll automatically, you can tell them just to find a spot themselves. If you are kind of picky about how you want your place arranged, and if you have big plans about how you want to arrange everything, then you probably will want to tell them that you'll find the spot instead of letting them do it. So then what they're actually going to do is give you their tent kit, as Renee's doing, and then we can basically go look for a spot the same way we did our tent. This gives you a little bit more control again over where stuff is. I would definitely recommend, especially if you're going to be doing lots of terraforming and decorating, I have found the best way to do this is to put the villagers' tents on the beach to start. Any of the buildings that you're able to fit in these spots, it's going to be very helpful in the beginning stages of the island, just to make sure you've got more space available. That way you don't have to keep paying to move things and waiting until the next day to be able to decorate or, you know, do any terraforming in that spot where their place might be. So we're going to say this is a good spot. It looks good. Cute little tent. And then I think we're going to have to go do the same thing with Goose. He is our jock villager. And the jocks, oh my gosh, they always talk about working out, sports, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and say, I'll find you a spot, and we'll probably do the same thing. I just want to keep all the buildings, if I can, away from the main spot of the area, just so that I don't have to pay unnecessary money to move things later. It'll make it a lot easier. All right, let's go over here to the beach. So far, I'm really liking how this airport is set up across from resident services. I wasn't sure how this one would be. It sort of is hard to tell on the map just how much distance there's going to be between the airport and resident services. But yeah, I think this one's going to work out pretty well for what we want to do on this island. I think this spot is going to work. Let's try to see how it looks. We're going to get into our pockets and place Goose's tent. And I do want to see what it looks like before I commit, just because I do want to at least make sure there's enough space where I can walk between where the water is. I think that's going to be good. All right. Mission accomplished. Yay. All right, everyone's got a spot. See, so it's kind of nice. The game does guide you through what to do next. When in doubt, always talk to Tom Nook. He'll give you some ideas or kind of guide you on what to do. Oh, okay, so we're going to have a little party. He wants us to build a campfire. And I have a feeling we're going to have to be doing a little bit of gathering here. There is a lot of that in the beginning of this game. I find it to be relaxing. I know some people find it to be tedious and annoying, but it gets easier. The more resources you have and collect, it doesn't get to be this thing. I know some people incorporate it into the daily part of, you know, their daily tasks that they do just to collect a little bit here and there, and then it makes it less overwhelming. But you do need a lot of supplies at the beginning of the game. So yes, we need to get 10 tree branches. And indeed, it's cherries. So the cool part about it being cherries is as you start playing the game, you'll start collecting DIY recipes that you can use to craft things from all of the resources that you gather and find on the island. And usually whatever fruit you get for your main fruit on the island, they tend to give you those DIY recipes first because that's what you have available at the beginning of the game. And the cherry recipes, there's so many cute items. There's clothing, household items, stuff like that. So I am pretty excited about that because the cherry items are super adorable. So I was sort of secretly hoping I'd get peaches for this island, I'm not gonna lie, just because they look really cute on the trees too, and I've never had peaches. So props out there to you guys who got the peaches, you're really lucky. The pears are really cute as well, I've never had those. I had apples for my very first island, and there's some cute apple items as well, but I am thankful that it's something different than what I had before, so. All right, so now we're gonna have a campfire. We've turned in our sticks. And to get the sticks, I don't know if you noticed when I was playing, but you just either pick them up off the ground or you can shake the trees. And Tom Nook will sort of explain that. You'll learn as you go as you play this game. So it looks like he wants cherries from us to have a little bit of a snack or something, I guess, for our bonfire tonight. So we're going to go around. Some of the trees you'll notice have nothing on them. Those are just the regular trees. Those trees are easily used to get wood, things like that. You can either chop them down, shake them to get tree branches like the fruit trees. The fruit trees, if you shake the tree, the fruit will actually fall to the ground and you can pick it up, but the cherries will grow back. So we're going to just get a few more so that we have everything we're giving to him. I just want to make sure we have enough. Yep. We'll run back over here. Get a few more. And we'll go back and talk to Tom. Here you go. Just what you asked for. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, what kind of fruit you got for your island when you get a chance to play this game. I'd love to hear what your experience is and if you're happy with what you got or if you restarted until you got what you wanted. Man, that is a fire. It looks great. Looks like it's getting dark on our island too. All right, let's see. So he's talking basically about expanding, that we want to make this island grow and invite more people. He's quite wordy, this Tom Nook. So just kind of click through all the dialogue here. And now we're talking about what we want to name our island. Now, this is really important because this is another one of those things that you cannot change later. So I've made lists in the past. The first time I wasn't prepared for this, so I was stuck here for a while because you can't move on beyond this step until you type something in. And since you can't change it, it's a big deal. On my other islands, I use Belle at the end. So my first one was Honeybell, and that was sort of a multi-themed island. My second island is Cocoa Bell. I did that one as more of like a tropical themed island, and this one I decided to go with Everbell because I think the theme I want to go with this time around is more of like a forest, that sort of vibe, so kind of rustic. I'm not sure exactly yet what it's going to look like because I try to just go with the flow, but I think Everbell would be a good name. And of course, shocker, they picked my name in the vote. All right, we've got a name. We're officially Everbelle. I just figured that that name would be a little versatile too if I even decided to change the theme of the island later and do something totally different. It has a little bit extra flexibility. Now we're talking about representative, the resident services rep. They're actually going to give this to the player that plays this game first. For anybody that's new to this game, you can add additional players to your island. So if you have a family that want to play on the island with you, they'll actually get their own tent to start as well. But you'll share all of the amenities on the island, things like that. And the person that starts the game is the resident services rep. And you actually get to make all the big decisions like moving buildings around, building and demolishing bridges and inclines. And the other people on the island, if they play with you, don't have that ability. So definitely think carefully about who you want to be in charge of that. Look at everybody with their little smoothies and their instruments. It's pretty adorable. All right, so let's see what Tom has in mind for us now. Okay, so he looks like he wants us to go to our tent. So now I think we'll be able to go in our tent and see what we've got in there. What's this? Camping cot. Okay, yay, we have something to lay on. That's a plus. And he explains how to do some of the things like moving furniture, stuff like that, placing things. We're gonna head on over to our tent. This is exciting. We get to go in for the first time. Let's see what's in here. Oh, look at the little boxes. We got gifts, guys. Look at our nifty gifties. All right, what did we get? We got, oh, a little radio. Okay, that's cute. It's black, so I like that. Oh, and a lantern. And okay, so Super Score, they're the same color. And I don't know how often that happens, but I can tell you that the other two islands I did, they did not match. I had two different random colors, so I'm actually kind of excited that they're coordinating. And then we'll put our cot down. Ooh, okay, I'm loving that color and that pattern. I think so far I've had just the plain ones, so this is pretty cute. I love it. It's my style. All right, so let's see. I'm just sort of pushing this around, and I guess it doesn't technically matter at this point. Let's see if we can lay down on it. All right, so you'll say rest, and then what it does is it cuts to a little montage here that's sort of key to the purpose of the game. Again, with Animal Crossing, there is a small storyline that you need to follow with a couple of goals for the game, and it'll explain here, sort of gives you a glimpse of the first part. And then once you get through the storyline, the game sort of opens up to more of a free play style where you can just sort of live everyday life and that sort of thing. So, but there is sort of a storyline goal that you need to start with when you're playing the game, and it'll sort of walk you through as you go. This is KK Slider. Isn't he cute? I seriously, like, I think I've got a little crush on him. Look how cute. I think this is like the idea of just giving you a little dream of what you're, kind of like a premonition, I guess, maybe, of what's to come on the island. And I guess I'll give you a spoiler alert. That one of the points is that they're going to want you eventually to improve the island, decorate it, build it up enough that KK Slider will be interested in coming to do a concert. So that's going to be your main goal to get through the storyline. And yeah, this is a way to introduce him. And this is basically telling us that the game is now going to sync us with real time. So for that first section of the game that we just had, you're just basically doing it on what time the game puts for you. At this point, when you wake up, there will be a time and date in the corner, and it's going to sync it with whatever the real time is in the world. So that's, like, I think one of the roots of this game. It's just such a cool idea that the game is there when you're living your life, and whenever you pick up and come back to it, it's there for you. So we're going to head out. And you can see now it's daytime, so it's now synced with real time. And Tom Nook's here. Yeah, I guess we slept a long time. Sure did. It's all that work he put us through, right? Okay, so this is important. You'll be using this a lot. This is your Nook phone. It's got apps on it that are going to help you with all the various things you can do in the game. And this is just a little tutorial that Tom Nook gives you. Oh, how cute. It's like the best feeling when you get a new phone, right? Even if it is a digital phone in the game. And we'll get more instruction as we go on how to use the apps and what they do and all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty simple. It's practically jitterbug status, so we'll be good. All right. Oh, good. This is where the debt starts. Okay, so one of the things that you'll learn about Tom Nook is he's always trying to convince you that you have to do more and spend more money and go into debt. And so this is, I think, probably where the love-hate relationship begins for most people with him. I think there's literally forums out there for people that like hate Tom Nook. It's a thing. It legit is a thing. So this is him basically saying that we owe him money now because he invited us to come here and do all of the work on this island. And we are going to have to be paying him back the money we owe. So when you first start the game, bells are the money currency, but of course when you first start, there's no bells. You haven't earned anything yet because there's no way to get it. So he explains Nook Miles in here, which basically you're going to be doing tasks around the island in order to get miles. And the first loan you take out from him, he lets you use your Nook Miles to pay off the first debt for your tent and your phone. So basically we'll go over more of this in the future episodes of this, but I'll give you some tips and tricks on what tasks you can do and things that you can do in the game to sort of help boost your Nook Miles in the beginning, because that's something you're going to rely on for the first couple days especially, and then we'll get into bells as we go, and I'll try to help give you some tips maybe that I learned along the way from the first time. But yeah, so I am really excited about starting this new journey on Everbell. I really hope that this was helpful, and I hope that this is something you want to come along with me on this journey, whether it's playing your own island alongside each day, or whether it's just wanting to get a feel for what the game is like if you've never played it to see if you're interested. I know this game has brought me a lot of joy, especially with everything that's been going on in the world lately, and I really hope it's something that will mean something to you in the same way, and I hope that I'll be able to help you maybe have some ideas on what makes things easier for you, since those of us that have played it before, we've got a few things in our pockets that might help. So I'm just arranging a couple of things here in my little tent. It is really cute. Nintendo actually gives you this little switch that looks just like the Animal Crossing Switch as a gift for playing, and I love it. It's super cute. And I don't know, we'll get to the recipe stuff tomorrow. But yeah, I'm really glad you guys decided to go on this journey with me. I look forward to doing all these new things in our new adventure. I hope you'll come along. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.